Scripture.
Your personal economy.
Do you just watch it every day to make sure it doesn't go back down?
I don't ever recommend buying anything that is something that you're going to sit in front of the computer screen and watch every day.
Financial issues that you need to know.
And now the solution for economic growth in our economy is now spending more money and pay no never mind to the debt ceiling as if it's irrelevant.
We got to come together if we're going to do anything about this.
Aligning reality with truth.
If the people have the lack of understanding the truth. Truth is truth.
Well, I think it's time we ask ourselves if we still know the freedoms that were intended for us by the founding fathers.
Now, here's your host, Dan Celia.
Welcome back to American Family Radio Network, Financial Issues. I'm Dan Celia. Hey, listen, Dow's down 183 right now, and I got to believe that one of the reasons also is not just this idea of the Fed tapering and the 10-year yield going up. It's got to have a lot to do with what's happening again. And here we go again. It's so difficult when you think about me trying to do some analytical work and then come here every single day and try to report on numbers that just absolutely make no sense. And here I am. Sometimes I think just, so futile that I try to do this, that without any, there's no rhyme or reason. There's no correlation from one number to the next. But anyway, so the Philly Fed, we had two of the Fed regions report on manufacturing index. Let me give you the New York Empire number first. So that came out this morning. Last month, it was 9.5. That was the index, 9.5. That's still in somewhat of an expansion mode. It's not contracting. And it went down, so it is headed in the wrong direction at 8.2 again. So again, we're showing a 3-month trend here of moving in the wrong direction. It's still not negative. It's still not in contraction mode, but it's not increasing. Yet we're not laying off people, and we're hiring people, and the job numbers are good. Something's wrong here, folks. Something is wrong. I mean, listen, if there's going to be something rigged in the markets, if there's going to be numbers that are going to be misstated, I wonder if whoever is responsible for that, and I'm not saying that is, but it certainly seems like a possibility. And if that is the case, do you understand? You got to rig all the numbers. You can't just do a couple. You got to rig all the numbers. Now, they don't really have to do that. They only have to do that for people like me. But for the average person, it's just looking at the headlines. They don't need to do that. Dow's down 192 right now. So New York Empire region is down in manufacturing. The Philly Fed would be my region. Now, let me just explain something to you. When you take the Philly Fed region and the New York Fed region, and you're talking about manufacturing and jobs, first of all, let me tell you, and most of you know this, I'm sure, that, or maybe you don't, that 1/3, 33%, the United States is a big country, 33% of the nation's population lives in the Northeast Corridor. The Northeast Corridor is from Washington, D.C. to Boston. 33% of the entire nation's population lives in that corridor. So, and then you could, I don't know what the number is, but there's got to be a huge number just in the state of California and Texas alone. So when you look, but here's the thing about the Philly and New York number, is that there's a huge amount of manufacturing that goes on in those regions. I would just say in North Jersey alone, there's probably as much manufacturing in North Jersey alone than there is in, 15, 20 other states combined. So anyway, the Philly number last month was at 19.8. Wow, great number. It's at 9.3 right now. Now, I'm not going to try to go through some mental gymnastics to try to figure out how that could possibly be and try to match it up with some of the other so-called positive numbers that we're seeing, because I don't think I can do it. So as the Philly number just came out, now the Dow's down 211 points. That's 1.38%. The Dow is down. Well, So lots of very, very powerful and interesting economic news coming out that are driving the markets. Very interesting. Gold is down. Gold should be up because the dollar is down. So gold is down. Gold should be up because it looks like inflation is coming in, not going out, yet gold is down. Go figure. Another number that is not correlating with what is really happening. Gold might have something to do with demand, and there's a lack of demand. And obviously, there's a report out yesterday saying that there's going to be a major lack of demand in India for gold, primarily due to the excise tax on gold, which they put into place. They increased it again, I think, for the 5th time this year. So central banks aren't going to be buying a lot of gold in India. They're going to get taxed to death. So very interesting that we see another, another when we've got, rates on 10-year going up. Now, the rates on the 10-year going up would drive gold down because it means people are going to consider U.S. Treasuries a flight to safety as opposed to gold. So that would be that would be a reason why gold is going down. But anyway, a lot of interesting data, a lot of interesting news coming out. I've got some clips. I'm not going to play them just yet. We'll save them for later on or another day. They are interesting. Talking about Obamacare. Remember, our economy has not even come close to feeling any kind of full force effect of Obamacare. Make sure that, folks, if you don't get my newsletter, it's a free email newsletter, get it this week. I wrote a very interesting article in reference to Obamacare and what it's doing to the loss of our freedoms, more importantly than the financial and the economic impact that it's having on us as individuals as well as America as an economy. Because I think we are discounting, we're not looking enough at the loss of freedoms that this piece of legislation is costing America. And we had better take it seriously. So it's an email newsletter, folks. It doesn't cost anything. It's free. And there are tens of thousands of people that get that email newsletter. And I say without any hesitation, and if anybody knows anything different is listening, call, and you're welcome to tell the listeners that I'm wrong. I've never once used that list to send out a commercial, an advertisement, an ask for money or anything like that, or to promote some sort of products like everybody else does with their email list. Nobody has come up to me and paid me to do that. I've had offers, but I'm not going to do it. You just get an email newsletter once a week at the end of the close on Friday. And, I may write 1, 2, 3 articles in it, give a little recap of the market and some other news. But you can check that out. There's an interesting article in reference to Obamacare that I think we need to try to understand. Let me go to Mac. Mac is calling us from Texas. Hey, Mac. Hey, Mac. Okay, Mac's got a bad connection there, so let's put him back on hold, see if we can get to, or we just lost Mac. Let me go to Kenneth. Kenneth from Texas. Hey, Ken.
Yeah, Dan.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you were mentioning about productivity, right?
Yes.
See what happens is people are afraid to lose their jobs. So of course they produce more because they're asked to produce more. Because if they don't, then that's it. There goes their job, and they're being paid part-time instead of full-time, which is a dinosaur now. So I would think those are the reasons that productivity is high, but salaries or payment, wages are low.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you 100% on that, Ken. That is definitely a reason that this has been going on for the last 4 years. Those that have jobs are thankful to have them, and they're trying to do the best they can with what the hours they're given to work. So there's no doubt about that. And I think my question, not for you, Kenneth, but in general, is how much longer is that going to last? I mean, how fair is it? I mean, when do those people, and I understand that it's going to last as long as they can't get a job somewhere else, but at some point in time, this obviously it's having a negative impact on the broader economy, but it's just not the way America has operated for the last 238 years. It just is not the way America operates. It's not the way a free market economy operates, and it's sad to see it happening. And but you bring up some great points, Kenneth, and I agree with you. Thank you, brother. Let me go to Trevor. Trevor is calling us from Florida. Hey, Trevor.
Hi, Dan. Thanks for taking my call. I have a question about something you said about 15 minutes ago or so. You were forecasting possibly some high inflation coming up, and then you said that you could foresee possibly recommending taking a 70 to 90% position in cash. And I'm certainly not an expert, but my understanding was that in times of high inflation, the saying is cash is trash because it's getting, it's losing value. So I'm just curious to understand why you would recommend that if there was high inflation.
Because cash is a losing proposition, right? We know that. We all know that. I say it all the time. You're not going to make money because you're not keeping pace with inflation.
Right.
But if cash is trash, losing half of your portfolio, what is that?
More trash.
So we have to make a decision whether preservation of principle has any value to us at all.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the decision that has to be made. But here's the decision that generally gets made by the average investor. The decision that generally gets made by the average investor is, oh, no, I got to make what I can make when I can make it, and I'm staying fully invested in the market. Mm-hmm. And then they whine and moan when they lose half of it. And, at some point in time, we have got to change our mindset and try to listen. So back in 2007, I was winding down my business, my trust business. I was still managing a few $100 million. And back in 2007, in late November, December, I moved to about 40% cash in all of my management, all of my portfolios. Not because I saw what was happening in 2008. I didn't. I wasn't even close to seeing what we've got today. I'm not that smart. But I was smart enough to understand as an analyst and somebody that had been doing it for 30 years that I'm looking and I'm saying, look, the fact of the matter is the fundamentals of the market, not the economy, but the fundamentals of the market are horrible. The fundamentals of companies are horrible. This cannot continue. Something's got to give. I didn't know what was going to give. I just knew something was going to give. So then in March of 2008, Bear Stearns goes under. Not technically, they were bailed out, but they went under. Bear Stearns goes under. I went 70% cash. Having done all that, I've never had a down year in any of my management. Still don't. I still manage a lot of institutional money. I've never had a down year. So I preserved millions of dollars from being lost and needing to recover, and could wait for the right time to start weaning myself back in. See, there is value. There is great value in preservation of principle. We don't seem to understand that. So if you're a young person and you're concerned about the dollar cost, the purchasing power being lost as a result of inflation, and you don't want to be in cash, that's okay if you lose 30, 40, 50% of it, if you're young and you've got time to just sit on it and wait. But why a person like that takes a loss of 40%, waits 4 years to come back, I will have done better with that money at a 0.5% in a money market account for that same period of time. And when you start to recover in 4 or 5 years, I'm now weaning back into the market with a much higher cost basis, with a much higher principle. So, those old feelings of, we got to beat inflation. Well, I've never held to that other than I know that it's true, but I just place a lot more value in the principle that we've worked hard to earn. We'll be right back after this.
Hi, this is Dan Celia at Financial Issues.